Right now, it's the ones that are making the most risk are the indie devs. In game business, you got to make a game for your customer, and if you don't actually do that effectively, this is what you get. Starbreeze will be completely focused on Payday 3, which nobody is playing. There's more people playing Payday 2 than Payday 3. Here's the thing. Payday 2 reportedly has tens of thousands of players at any given time, while Payday 3 struggles to exceed 1,000 concurrent players. It's failed quite spectacularly, which is sad because it's a game that everybody loves to play. Color me shocked, because a lot of times the gamers do not like gaming journalists. We actually make fun of you for the most part, and this is a reason why, is because you either say the games are too hard and you need to dumb them down, or you like the weird games that nobody likes, or things. Dragon Age the Veilguard was a good game. So I'm not really surprised that the gamer has laid off a bunch of staff, because it was one of the worst ones to be around. That's good. Hey, it's Brett. Grab your favorite brew and settle in. Today we're diving into gaming industry layoffs, juicy Steam updates, the latest on Battlefield 6 and Fallout, plus some good old gamer drama over skins. Whether you're here for the news or just looking for company, this episode of Digital Coffee has your back. Let's get brewed up and dive in. All right, so first off is Ubisoft has announced a voluntary redundancy program at Massive Entertainment and Ubisoft Stockholm. The announcement coincides with a restructuring proposal at Red Links, which may lead to 60 layoffs. The program was first reported at the French news site, I'm not even going to pronounce it, but basically Massive was the one that created Star Wars Outlaw and Avatar, and Star Wars Outlaw did not do so well that they actually canceled the sequel to it because it just never hit its target goals, which is unfortunate. So in a statement, they have basically said that they are looking for a voluntary career transition program, which is designed to provide eligible employees with financial and career assistance. So basically it's like, we're restructuring, we don't need you anymore, so go find a new place to do business and or be an employee at. So this is just a terrible restructuring, or it's just an awful step in the gaming industry because we are still getting layoffs. This hasn't really hit rock bottom yet, unfortunately. I know the layoffs always happen in the gaming industry, but it seems to be a lot more frequent in the past, I would say 3 or 4 years, because of COVID. And you're wondering why it's still being felt, because COVID had us all locked down. We were getting more games. So the developers and the publishers were hiring a lot, and they were kept on hiring and hiring and hiring. Then they produced games. The games didn't do well. And so here's where we're at, because it wasn't good. Like, a lot of the games were not great when they came out during the pandemic. Just look at Anthem. That was a terrible game. Man, that was so bad. So this is just another unfortunate thing. Maybe Massive will still hopefully create Division 3. I'm not really quite sure which one they're going to be developing. I know Star Wars is out, so they're not going to be doing Star Wars anymore. And Avatar, there may be a sequel to it. I know there's a new expansion pack coming out, I think, in December. So it should be interesting to see what that actually entails. All right, so Steam has introduced a new feature called Personal Calendars that display a day-by-day view of recent and upcoming games that Valve recommends. The Personal Calendar can show between 10 to 50 games that have recently released or are coming soon. The recommendation system is based on the user's playtime profile and wish list, updated daily with the latest data. The calendar allows users to see daily, weekly, and monthly breakdown of game releases. Users can filter the calendar by genre tags and views only their wishlisted games. Valve is seeking user feedback on the new calendar feature. The author mentions that thousands of games released on Steam do not make enough money to cover the submission fee, which is true. There are a lot of games that come out. There's a lot of games that we don't even know about or get ignored. So this does help with the creation of finding your customers or new customers for indie devs. And it does help AAA studios as well, but specifically for indie devs, because Right now, it's the ones that are making the most risk are the indie devs. The AAA ones are not. They're going to make whatever is not very risky, whatever will make them the 10 to 20% profit margin they're trying to make, or if it's Xbox 30%, we'll get into that a little bit later. But this is just a good way of personalizing it for gamers so they can find maybe games they would have even gotten, they would consider it. And maybe this will help blow up more indie games like Schedule 1, which was a really big indie game for a while. BattleBit was an indie game that blew up for a little bit. There have been bright spots for indie developers to do this, so I'm glad to see that they're making this type of feature, and it's personalized for each gamer because each gamer has their different choices of games they like to play, and luckily this is based on the playtime that you've played games and your wish listed items, which if you're like me, you have hundreds of wish listed items that you kind of forget about every once in a while, but at least this is a good feature for developers and gamers to find the right games to play or the right new games to play as well. And they also break it down between daily, weekly, and monthly, which is very helpful in that regard. So Marvel Cosmic Invasion, the game that is developed by Tribute Games, who recently developed the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge, is making a new beat 'em up game for the Marvel world, and it's going to be released on December 1st, 2025. This game will be available on PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and the Nintendo Switch 2. This should be good because you'll have about 15 playable heroes in the game, which is way more than what you got for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Granted, there aren't as many, I guess, heroes or mainline heroes that people know about from the TMNT universe, but this should allow them to create more characters for them to use in the game as well. So it looks like it's going to be a fun little romp with that one. I'm all in favor of these old school ones. Hopefully this will be available on the Steam Deck as well, so you can beat them up on the go with that one, because I still think the Steam Deck of all the new PC handhelds is the one that you actually get more value at. I'm not against the Asus ROG one or any of the other ones that are a little bit more high fidelity, but I think the Steam one gives you a lot more bang for your buck as opposed to the other ones that are all about basically the specs and the hardware and being more expensive in general. All right, moving on to the CEO of Remedy is stepping down with immediate effect. The resignation occurred 2 weeks after the company issued a profit warning. The profit warning was attributed to weak sales on the game FBC Firebreak, which is kind of like a Left 4 Dead type of game with, I guess, in some ways, zombies in the Control universe, and it just didn't really resonate. I was kind of interested, but not interested. And then there's a lot of problems with it. It looked like it could have been a good game. It just really wasn't well thought out. So that's where we're at on that one. So it is unfortunate that this is not really going very well for them, but well, game business, you got to make a game for your customer. And if you don't actually do that effectively, this is what you get. So probably should just focus on Control 2 and the other games. They're better games and might have to leave this in the dust, or you can go No Man's Sky route, keep on updating it, keep on showing why it's a good game, and maybe you'll get a lot of people coming back. But in a multiplayer type of a game, it's going to take years to do that. All right, so we got some video game sale charts for the United States in 2025. Now, I'll always take it with a grain of salt because I haven't really seen any type of numbers from the publisher or the developer, but it looks like in last month, in September of 2025, Borderlands 4 was ranked #1 in sales, and Ghost of Yotei was ranked 4th in sales. The top 5 sales were primarily composed of sports games, along with the other 2 that I just mentioned, which may be a good thing for Ghost of Yotei. I was not really interested in it at all. I kind of wanted to see the continuation of the original game, but they decided to go in that direction, which is fine for them. They can do whatever they want, and I can buy whatever I want as well. But if you guys are enjoying it, that's really up to you. It's a little surprised that Borderlands 4 is up there, but it did release in September, and it is a very popular franchise, so I wouldn't be surprised that it got #1. Now, will it be #1 this month? Probably not. That's probably taken by Battlefield 6 because that's a better game. Well, way better optimized. And unfortunately, Borderlands 4 was not optimized very well. Even on console, the more you played, the more it broke, which is weird. But this is good to see. At least gaming is still mostly healthy, except with all the layoffs that are happening. But I don't foresee Borderlands 4 being maybe in the top 10 this month, but it's going to keep on going down and you're going to see a lot of sales. Ghost of Yotai maybe will still be in the top 5, but I don't really foresee it being in the top 5 again for October, but we will see if we actually get the data. Now, I'm always a little skeptical because this is only from a specific person that's not part of the developers or the studio publisher behind it. So should be interesting to see if we actually get any official announcements from them. I usually trust them because they actually have the better numbers for it. But this could be on track. But like I said, always take it with a grain of salt. But I just thought it'd be interesting to show you guys what is going on within the sales report. All right, No Man's Sky, speak of the devil, has released a new update called the Breach Update. The update introduces explorable space wrecks and new ship parts for players to salvage and build with. A new expedition is part of the update, which involves exploring the abandoned ship in the desolate system coinciding with the Halloween season. The update includes technical improvements to the shipbuilding system to accommodate more ambitious projects. Players can salvage shipwrecks for new vertical and structural parts, as well as rare Atlas-themed wings, engines, and features. What do you expect from this developer? They're going to keep on making really great updates, and they're going to keep on showing you why it is a good game, even though, well, it didn't start out well at all. But it has shown time and again why this is a better game than Star Citizen, a better game than Elite Dangerous, I mean, better than Starfield. That's hands down. But just all around a better game. Starfield has had its problems, and the only way it's actually pretty good is if you do the Star Wars Genesis mod configuration and do it that way and just make it a Star Wars game. Because anything else, I haven't really been wanting to play it, to be honest with you. I haven't played it in months. I mean, I kind of started playing it and then it fell off. It's kind of boring in a lot of ways. I mean, yes, you can explore space, but the planets are all the same. Identifying stuff doesn't really give you much. Like, there's just a lot of stuff where I'm like, base building, I guess, is the best way of going, but who cares? It's just a weird way of doing it, and I don't think there's a lot of incentive to actually play Starfield. Elite Dangerous, I think they need to do a new version, a sequel, where you can actually walk around in your ship, get in and out of your ship. I know the developers like, you don't need to do that, but we want to do that. That's why No Man's Sky added it, because people wanted to do it. And so I don't think it's a bad idea to actually have that where you can spacewalk and do that stuff. Do I think they'll do that? Probably not. I haven't really seen any big updates for Elite Dangerous in quite a while, which is interesting. Maybe they are making a second one. Maybe they're making it a little bit better. But who knows? And then you got Star Citizen, which, I mean, is a perpetual alpha and will never get out of development cycle hell. Even though it is a game and you can play it, it's just annoying. Really, not great. All right, moving on to Payday 2. I know it's not a new game at all, but Starbreeze has handed off to a new developer, which is basically going to be making Payday 2 expansions or DLCs. It was originally called Mug Team, which was Payday modding community, and also has worked on updates for the Raid World War II. The first update for Payday 2 from Sidetrack, which is originally what the company was called, was Mug Team, is scheduled to be released on October 23rd and focus on stability and player experience improvements. Future updates will aim to quality of life improvements and general bug fixes. Starbreeze will be completely focused on Payday 3, which nobody is playing. There's more people playing Payday 2 than Payday 3. The problem with Payday 3 is a lot of the stuff in the game, the mechanics and the design and everything were a little half-baked. They weren't that great. It was fun to play for a while, but there's no offline mode. It's just always online, which is not great. Now they have their monthly thing if you want to do that, which I don't because I don't play the game. So it should be interesting to see that. So here's the thing. Payday 2 reportedly has tens of thousands of players at any given time, while Payday 3 struggles to exceed 1,000 concurrent players. It's failed quite spectacularly, which is sad because it's a game that everybody loves to play. I mean, Payday was a heist type of a game that was fun to play with people and by yourself as well. They never had a single player offline mode you could play, which was unfortunate. And so you always had to play with people, and then you don't always agree on how to tackle it, and then you just get frustrated and leave. So there was a lot of mistakes being made with Payday 3, and so now they have to fix the mistakes they made on Payday 3. All right, are you in the market for a new desk? Well, Secret Labs has released the Magnus Evo Sit to Stand desk. The desk features height adjustment and various organizational features. It is priced at $749 and is available in two sizes, the 1.5 meters and the 1.77 meters or XL. The desk includes magnetic zones compatible with accessories such as the magnetic cable, anchors, and magnetic headphone hangers. It has a built-in cable management system that opens up to 30 degrees for easy access. The desk is equipped with motorized legs and control panel with 3 custom height presets. It features a proprietary integrated power system column that allows the desk to be powered through the single plug, which I think is great. I was considering the Magnus Pro, but this one looks just as good, and it's I think it's $100 cheaper as well, and all the accessories from the Magnus Pro will be able to use in this one as well. So if you want to get a little bit less expensive than the Pro one, and the Pro one is pretty good, this one is for you as well. But if you're in the market, this is a good option for you. They have a lot of different stuff. You have an integrated leg networking system, so you can basically be way more organized than traditional desks, which you kind of have to do yourself, and it's maddening. All right, so Arrowhead Game Studios announced the next patch for Helldivers 2 has been delayed due to last-minute certification issues. The developer are targeting the release patch by the end of the week and are prepared to work over the weekend if necessary. The patch was originally scheduled to be released on Tuesday. There is a possibility that the patch may not be resolved by Friday, which could delay it until the following week. The nature of the certification issue is not specified, but is likely related to the platforms required, which is PlayStation, Xbox, or Steam. The developer has pushed back content releases to focus on fixing performance bugs and balances, and preliminary patch notes have been shared detailing optimizations that are primarily behind-the-scene tweaks aimed at improving performance, which a lot of players at Helldivers 2 has actually complained about, is that there's a lot of good content updates, but the improvements have not been there. And this could be due to the engine that they're using, which isn't really supported anymore. So I'm pretty sure that is part of the issue. And since they aren't really migrating over to a newer and more supported engine, this could be an issue for a long while. We will see, but I haven't heard any reports of them fully migrating to a new system quite yet, but I'm pretty sure they eventually have to because of the deprecated engine that they've previously used, which FatShark has used from other previous Warhammer and other types of games like that. But Warhammer, the original, and Warhammer 40K, Rillium and Darktide, those two games as well. So we'll see what happens and how this goes, but that's what we're at right now. And so moving on to Bethesda unveiled Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition as part of a Fallout Day celebration. The Anniversary Edition includes all 6 expansions and over 150 Creation Club items. It is described as the definitive version of Fallout 4. It'll be available on PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S on November 10th, 2025. A version of the Switch 2 is also planned with a release date for 2026. Probably have to delay it because they're trying to make sure that it runs well on it. The release celebrates the 10th anniversary of Fallout 4, which is sad that this is the 10th anniversary. We haven't got a new Fallout in 10 years. I'm pretty sure we haven't gotten a new Elder Scrolls in probably 20 years. I mean, it's sad. We got Star Citizen, which is kind of like, really? That's the one you decided to do. And we got Fallout 76. Okay. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not Fallout. It's not like the mainland Fallout. It's the online Fallout, which is okay. But here we're at remakes of remakes or definitive editions, director's cuts, and all the other things that Bethesda seems to do pretty well, but can't actually make a new game besides Starfield, which is an all right game. See where I'm going with this? Where is my Fallout 5? Where is my Elder Scrolls, whatever number we're on? I don't remember. I don't want the online one. I don't want the online one of either one of them. I just want a new one. Speaking of Fallout 76 is releasing a free update title called Burning Springs on December 2nd. A character called the Ghoul from the Fallout series. So you can actually, I don't know if you can play them, but you can talk to them or him, interact with him. Very known as Burning Springs was not previously explored in the past Fallout games. The expansion is described as one of the largest map expansions in Fallout 76 history, but it's not Fallout 5. It's one of those things where it's just like, I just want a new Fallout that's not this or whatever it is. It's just, why? Speaking of Bethesda, one of the former developers, Bruce Nesmith, commented on the recent reception of Starfield, suggesting it would have been perceived differently if released by another studio. Not even true or close. He stated that Starfield is not the same caliber as Bethesda's previous franchise, Elder Scrolls and Fallout, but has described it as a great game, not a great game. Starfield was launched in September 2023 as Bethesda's first IP in 25 years. The game did not receive the same level of acclaim as previous Bethesda title, and its expansion, Shattered Space, released in 2024, received a mostly negative user review ranking on Steam because it wasn't good. Bethesda reported that Starfield reached 15 million players and confirmed it would continue to support the game with at least one more expansion after Shattered Space. The second expansion and a PS5 port are now expected to arrive in 2026. He criticized the game's reliance on procedural generation and noted that the enemy variety was lacking compared to the creatures in Skyrim. Bethesda is working on improving the space gameplay in Starfield and has plans for new features, updates, and a new story DLC. Look, it wasn't good at all. I don't know why he keeps on saying that. If somebody else made it, people would still say it wasn't good. It wasn't a good game at all. It was boring. Like, when you first load it up, you're like, yeah, and it kind of does the Bethesda thing, but then you go to a few planets and you're like, well, there's not a lot to do on these planets. And even finding these little like features and stuff or oddities in the planet isn't really great. A lot of the animals seem the same, and it doesn't seem like there's much to this. And you might as well just focus on combat and selling stuff. You can base build and do that stuff, but it just doesn't seem like it was worth it. And it really wasn't. It's not a good game. The only reason why it's a good game is because Star Wars Genesis would make it a good game. And that's it. It's not a good game. I don't know why he would say that, but I guess he's just trying to save face for being a former developer. But still, it's like it wasn't good. No matter what developer made this, it wouldn't have been good. It would have been terrible. All right, so Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is having its final story DLC that is released on November 11th. The DLC, the main character Henry will become an assistant to Sigmund Abacus, a healer associated with King Welkishlas. I think I said that right. Henry is assigned a secret mission within a monastery facing a complex situation involving a mysterious plague and various factions with hidden motives. You'll get to explore Seldlitz Monastery. Man, these are hard to say, but it looks interesting. I mean, you did have a monastery mission in the original one as well, and it kind of looks like the same, but I think it's actually pretty cool to actually have a more mysterious thing with this one as a mysterious plague and motives behind it. So all in all, I think this is actually a really cool final story DLC for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Now, it did sell well. I'm pretty sure the third one is on the way for this one. It's probably going to be the completion, maybe the completion of Kingdom Come Deliverance. I don't know how many more they're actually going to make, but usually 3 games into a series is usually what you do. So it should be interesting to see what will be in store for the third game of this one, if it still uses Cryotech or reuses something else. Not sure about that one, but at least for the time being, this looks interesting. If you don't have Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 or haven't even played the original, play the original first. You kind of get the feeling of, or at least the story of what's going on. I'm pretty sure you can play this one and still know what's going on, but it's fun to play the original one. All right, more layoffs, but this is more on the journalism side. Valnet has laid off several members of the Gamers editorial team, including the entire features team. The exact number of staff affected by the layoffs is unclear. The Gamers staff page has not been updated since July 2025, despite at least 2 known rounds of layoffs. Several former staff members, including news editor, feature lead, has announced their layoffs on social media. Valnet acquired the game and popular culture website Polygon earlier in 2025, which was followed by numerous layoffs and resignations from longtime staff. Valnet was founded in 2012, operates over 27 brands across various sectors, including entertainment and gaming. Valnet claims to reach over 300 million monthly visitors and 5 billion sessions per year, and according to data from Press Engine, over 1,200 video game journalists have left the media in the past 2 years and have not returned to the industry. Color me shocked, because a lot of times the gamers do not like gaming journalists. We actually make fun of you for the most part, and this is the reason why, is because you either say the games are too hard and you need to dumb them down, or you like the weird games that nobody likes, or things. Dragon Age the Veilguard was a good game. So I'm not really surprised that the gamer has laid off a bunch of staff, because it was one of the worst ones to be around. So, am I surprised? No. Am I surprised that 1,200 video game journalists have left and have not come back in the past 2 years? No. Do I think YouTubers and podcasts are kind of filling the void? Absolutely. Because it feels like we're actually fans and the media is kind of just playing as fans. I respect you as a gamer and would hope that you understand that, and I don't really see that from the gaming journalists. I feel like they're always talking down to us, and that's ridiculous. But here we are, more layoffs, but this one I'm a little bit more fine with, because it's gaming journalism, and well, we always make fun of them anyways. All right, moving on to Microsoft has reportedly set goals for Xbox studios to achieve a 30% profit margin, which is higher than the industry average of 17 to 22%. This profit margin target has allegedly led to significant layoffs within the gaming division, resulting in thousands of job losses. Several games, including Rare's Everwild, Initiative's Perfect Dark Reboot, and ZeniMax Online Studios' Project Blackbird, have been canceled. Microsoft has also increased the prices of Xbox Series X and S consoles and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate to $29.99 per month. There was an attempt to raise the price of video games to $80, but Microsoft reverted to $70 after consumer backlash. Xbox has historically achieved profit margins between 10 and 20% over the past 6 years, while Sony's PlayStation division reported a 16% profit margin in Q1 of 2025. Microsoft Chief Financial Officer Amy Hood enforced the new profit margin target in fall of 2023, and Xbox President Sarah Bond has stated the next-gen Xbox will be very premium, very high-end curated experience, and has described the concept of exclusive games as antiquated. Microsoft issued a statement indicating that the profit margin target may not apply uniformly across all projects. But look it. This makes a lot of sense, because you have the raising the price of the Xbox Game Pass, which was ridiculous. You had the raising of the Xbox X and Series S, which was ridiculous. And now you have a bunch of layoffs because they didn't think it would probably actually make any them money, or the projected 30% profit margin. I don't know who thought this was a good idea, because if it's average 17 to 22%, and you are roughly in that margin, why are you trying to upset the apple cart? I feel like you're trying to squeeze out as much money as you can, which is not going to make that profit margin of 30%. So more layoffs are going to happen. More projects are going to be canceled because you thought this was a good idea, Amy Hood. I don't really understand why you thought this was a good idea, but apparently this is a good idea. This is a problem with Microsoft. They keep on fleecing the gamer. And this feels like a fleece. Of course, it's funny because then Sarah Bond's like, we're going to have this very premium, very high-end curated experience. All right, but you're still number 3 out of 3 in consoles. PlayStation's always beat you out. And Nintendo's still beating you out since, well, the Wii first. Wii U did not do well. Switch did very well. On the Switch 2, I'm pretty sure is doing well in sales as well. So why would you try to do a profit margin that's over the industry average by 8%? That's a pretty high margin overshoot. I get that you want to look like you're bursting out of the seams in revenue, but sometimes that's not good. Don't burst that much. Especially if you have Game Pass. If you have Game Pass, then as reported, Call of Duty lost $300 million because of Game Pass. But then you have Perfect Dark reboot. I don't know if it's going to be good or not. It looked interesting, but whatever. And where's Everwild? I don't even think I remember that one. So you had a bunch of different games going on, and then you canceled them, and you really had not much to show for it. Indiana Jones was okay. You had the Halo game, which was okay. I really can't remember a lot of them. I mean, you had like Gears of War reboot, but I don't really remember an actual new game in recent memory. So we have a problem. I mean, we're going to have Call of Duty, but that's really it. And that's always to be expected. But I don't know of anything else that's actually been released as new. I mean, you have Bethesda. Well, you had Starfield, but that was 2 years ago. And now you just have Fallout 4 Definitive Edition, Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, Fallout 4 This is the Best Ever Edition, or whatever else you'll do, or the new Skyrim Best Ever Edition. I mean, you had the Oblivion remaster, but it's not a new game. It's just an old game with an Unreal 5 engine. So Microsoft, what have you been doing besides canceling projects? And you still have the Fable game, which I don't even understand why you still have that still being made. That one should have been canceled with the other ones. But nope, here we are. We're going to cancel these ones, but not the Fable game, which I still haven't seen any new information. So it's either going to be canceled or there's going to be significant redos in that one. Because I haven't heard or seen anything about it, and I don't think it's going very well. So we'll see. We'll see if you hit that 30% profit margin. Pretty sure that's going to happen. Which is funny because PlayStation or Sony only makes 16%. It makes a 1% below the average. And you think you can make it to 30? Crazy. It's insane. Which is funny because then Xbox President Sarah Bond stated that the concept of exclusive games is becoming quote unquote antiquated. She noted that major games like Call of Duty, Minecraft, Fortnite, and Roblox is available on multiple platforms and driving community engagement in gaming. Yeah, some of them are multi-platform, very successful games, but not all of them are multi-platform, very successful games. Usually, yes, it's a good idea to have it on many platforms as you can, but you can get away with having it on Xbox and PC and still make a pretty good profit margin off of it. You don't have to be on everything. Would Call of Duty be beneficial on everything? Of course it would. Is PlayStation going to be advertising it? No. They will be doing Battlefield 6 because it is not owned by Microsoft. So here we are. Is it antiquated? It's still not antiquated. People will get the PlayStation for their exclusive games, even though Sony is making their games on PC, which makes me go, I don't need another PlayStation, which is fine with me because it's just a bunch of money anyways, and I could just focus on that, maybe get a new Steam Deck whenever that comes out instead, because it's going to be a lot cheaper in that regard. But I don't think it's still antiquated. I think there is room for exclusives, but you have to keep your expectation realistic. Are you going to make the 30% profit margin that Microsoft has basically deemed that Xbox studio teams need to make? No, not at all. Maybe more the 16 to 17%. But yes, some games, major games, can be extremely popular. Call of Duty, Minecraft, Fortnite, and Roblox. But not all of them make it to that ginormous thing. Especially Fortnite is free to play. So, I mean, there's that. Roblox is mostly for kids. Call of Duty, well, it's just a franchise that releases every year and people play it. I mean, that's the one thing about Call of Duty that is constant. It always comes out every year. Should it come out every year? Probably not. It could stand to miss a year or two and maybe just have expansions on the other Call of Duties. So, for example, Black Ops 7, you could skip a year and make an expansion for Black Ops 7. That would be an interesting thing. But they're not going to do that because they make too much money out of it. Completely understand that one. It's just one of those times we're living in those times, to be honest with you. Anyways, speaking of Battlefield 6, the first season of Battlefield 6 is going to be released on October 28th, so next week. The new season includes new game mode, guns, vehicles, and maps. The new Blackwell Fields map is set in a massive oil field in California. Players will have access to helicopters, planes, tanks on the Blackwell Fields map. Blackwell Fields introduces a new vehicle called the Traverser Mark II. The map will feature 3 new guns, the SOR 300 SC carbine, the GGH-22 sidearm, and the Mini Scout sniper rifle. The Eastwood map is set in suburban California, featuring homes, pools, and golf course. Eastwood includes drivable golf carts for players. That should be fun. And a catastrophe all in the same time, but it's still really good fun. And finally, this is kind of what I'm talking about. Gamers need to calm down a little bit about this. I get that we don't want it to be not Battlefield, but Call of Duty, but some players of Battlefield 6 are unhappy with this new soldier skin called Wicked Grin, introduced in Season 1. The skin features dark blue highlights and a toothy smile painted on the bandana. The skin can be unlocked as a free store gift, leading to concerns that many players will use it. You have nothing to go based off on that. The community has previously promised more grounded and realistic skins for the game. EA and Battlefield Studios have not defined what grounded specifically means in terms of visuals. The introduction of the Wicked Grin skin has sparked discussions and complaints among the player base, with some players stating they will not revive teammates wearing it. So you're going to lose a game because I don't even care at that point. Other skins of Battlefield 6 are considered more grounded, and the community acknowledges the game still has more grounded outfits available. Exactly. Why are we just focused on this one skin? It's one skin. I get it. You don't want it to be Call of Duty, but Call of Duty has its problem of being bombastic and overly promotional, like Beavis and Butthead, American Dad, those weird things. Yeah, I was not in favor of when I started to see that with the previous Call of Duty. I was like, this is not going well. I remember Modern Warfare 2019 I actually got this one, the Rambo and the Die Hard skin, which I was fine with because it was mostly grounded-ish, but it wasn't that bad. This is an overreaction to something that is so not worth our time talking about. at all. It's a free store skin that you can or don't have to use. And saying that you're not going to revive somebody because they have a stupid skin is petty, childish, and seriously go to your room or touch grass. I don't care which one it is, but for the love of God, it is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Who cares? Play the damn game. You don't have to, like, skin police people. Like, nope, not gonna work with you because you have the wicked grin skin. Who cares? It's a dumb skin. Some people will use it. Some people will not. Most of the skins are nicely grounded, but again, I'm going to say this. Battlefield, the series, is a cross between milsim and arcade. It is not a milsim whatsoever. If you want a milsim, play Arma. Play Squad. Play Squad 44. Play Hell Let Loose. Play Red Orchestra. Those are milsims. Those are fine. This is not a milsim. So please, for the love of God, stop with the madness. I get it. It doesn't look great, but it's not a game breaker. Maybe someone wants to play. It's free. You don't have to do it. You don't have to pick up the free skin if you don't want to. It's a skin. Do I like it? No. But do I really care enough to be like, oh, skin check? No, not going to revive you. I'm sorry. You got that grin one. You got the wicked grin one. I'm sorry, but I cannot revive you because of the skin. Is the dumbest way and really lacks critical thinking skills. Because if you want to win the match, you want to revive everybody. And when I'm support, I revive everybody. I don't even care. I'm just like going around just reviving. That's all I do. No, not really. I do shoot and resupply, even if the unlock is busted right now. But if you're playing the game a little too long, you never went outside, go outside. I always recommend going outside and seeing the world. I get it. It's a fun game, but it's not life. It's fun to play, but it's not fun to have it your whole life. And I'm pretty sure it's on Reddit. Cool your jets, go outside, maybe shower a little bit too. That's just me. It's a skin. It's a fun game and it's a skin. It's not the end of the world. Anyways, what do you think? Do you think I'm totally off? Are you rage baiting because of a skin? Or are you still having fun in Battlefield 6? Let me know in the comments below. But once again, thank you for listening to this podcast. I really do appreciate it. As always, please subscribe to this podcast on all your favorite podcasting apps. Leave a 5-star review. It really just helps with the rankings and let me know how I'm doing. And join me next week as I'll talk about what's going on in the gaming industry. All right, guys, stay safe. If you love Battlefield 6, keep on playing, keep on reviving, and see you next week. Later.